Hari Om everybody. Sita Ram Ram Ram. We'll start with a short opening prayer and Gita Jnana. Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena gratitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Amba Tvamanusandathami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshinim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Tela Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Parnaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsasudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahata Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Welcome everybody, and thank you so much for that warm welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you to Panditji again for having us here at this mandir so that we can continue the sankalpa of 108 nights of Bhagavad Gita at 108 different mandirs across Guyana. As Panditji mentioned and as Amma mentioned, we are now night 54. Night 54 marks exactly halfway through the 108 nights. So it's a very exciting night to be here. How many of you have studied Bhagavad Gita before? In any way, shape or form? Okay, let me tell you what this Bhagavad Gita is. The Bhagavad Gita is a conversation, a dialogue between Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna is the greatest warrior of his time. And he now has to fight a battle to protect dharma, to protect goodness, to protect righteousness. This is what Arjuna has to do. But Arjuna gets scared to do his duty. And he wants to give up and he doesn't want to fight. Now in this situation, Bhagavan Sri Krishna has to do something to let him get up and fight. Means get up and do your duty. Arjuna wants to be a chicken. Not wants to be a chicken, he is being a chicken. You know when people act like a chicken? Means they're scared, they don't know what to do, they don't want to do their work, like that. So Arjuna is being a chicken. Big big grown man, super successful, dynamic warrior crying on the battlefield. That is like you all studied so many years to write your common entrance exam, and the day you went and you sat there to write it, you hold the pencil in your hand and you're like, I can't do this. And you drop the pencil and you start to cry. Ooh. That's what you're supposed to do? When exam time comes, you're supposed to drop your pencil and say, I can't do it and I'm going to cry now? So in that situation now, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has to do something for Arjuna to get up. Now he doesn't touch him and say, okay, I bless you, get up. That's not going to work. Then there's nothing he could have taught him also, because Arjuna knew everything about fighting. But what Lord Krishna did is he taught him. He said some things to him that would help Arjuna's mind to become stronger, so he could get up and he could go and do his duty. And that is the same thing that we also need in our life. We know what we have to do, we have everything that we need to do it, but we're just scared to do it. This Bhagavad Gita, when we study it, it helps us to get that inspiration to get up and go and fight and face our fears and do our duty, even if we are scared. So now we're halfway through. You all missed the whole first half of the Gita almost. What has happened so far? Well, let me tell you very simply. The Bhagavad Gita is made, it has 18 chapters. And it can be divided into 3 sections of 6 chapters. So the first 6 chapters, it focuses on Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is all about action. How we can act, and whatever we're doing, we do it in such a way that it brings peace of mind, that it brings happiness to us and to everybody around us. Usually when we act, what happens? Have you seen people when they're going and doing their work? They come home stressed. They come home worried. They come home and say, I wish I didn't have to go to work again. Like that. Once there was a mom went to wake up her son. And she said, son, get up, it is time for school. And he said, no, Mom, I don't want to wake up. She said, why? He said, because I don't want to go to school. Have you ever said that to your parents? I don't want to go to school. Well, the mom said, no, but you have to go to school. He said, no, nobody likes me in that school. Everybody is mean to me in that school. I don't want to go. She said, no, but it doesn't matter that everybody is mean to you. He said, nobody wants to talk to me. She said, look, all of that doesn't matter. You have to go to school. You know why? Because you're the principal of the school. Now you imagine, principal of the school crying at home saying, I don't want to go because nobody likes me. That is how people get up and do their duty. So Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, that is not how we work. We get up and we work in such a way that it makes us happy, it makes everybody happy, and it brings peace and calmness to our mind. Then the next 6 chapters focuses on what we call Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is all about Bhagavan. It is all about God and my relationship with that God. And the last 6 chapters are called Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is all about knowledge of how there's only one thing in this universe. Okay, so that we will see later. But when people hear that this is what Bhagavad Gita has, now we've finished Karma Yoga section on action, and we're in the section on God. I don't know if you all know, but some people, they don't like the word God. Have you met people like that? Don't tell me about God. There are plenty of people like that, you know. They say, I'm going to skip that 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita on God and I'm going to go straight to the section on knowledge because I like knowledge, you know. But this God business is not my cup of tea. Do you know, our Swami Chinmayananda, around whom this Chinmaya mission grew, he was synonymous with Bhagavad Gita, means he's the one who really brought Bhagavad Gita back and taught it to all of us in English. Before that, nobody knew Bhagavad Gita. He, before he became a Swami, was an atheist. An atheist means somebody who doesn't believe in God. He was an atheist. But he grew up in a family where they used to do puja every day. You couldn't get food unless you came and you sat for puja in his house and they finished arti. So that is the environment in which he grew up. But as he grew up and he became educated, and you know the British system at that time, he realized that he doesn't believe in God, and he became an atheist. And he was a fantastic journalist. And now he decided, I am going to go and write an article to expose the sadhus, these fake people who talk about God and waste their time and waste everybody's time, and I'm going to show them how none of this is real. So he went up to an ashram of Swami Shivananda to write an expose on how sadhus don't know anything. And you know what happened there? Well, everything changed. He started to understand who God is. Really. Not any hocus pocus stuff that he had heard before. And he himself became a sadhu. That means that he didn't have a problem with God. He had a problem with his understanding of God. You see? Now when you study this Bhagavad Gita, these 6 sections, I challenge it to say, anybody who thinks they're an atheist and thinks they don't believe in God, if they study these 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita and they have integrity, they will come to see, oh yeah, the God that you talk about like this, okay, I could believe in that God. So this section of Bhagavad Gita is really wonderful. It presents God in a completely different light, as the consciousness and the intelligence behind this whole universe. Then as the thing, the material with which this universe is made. And finally, of course, as all the forms of Bhagavan that we are familiar with. And he says you can choose whichever one you want. Whichever one makes sense to you, you see me like that. But he has to show himself in his full glory. So that is what is going on here. Now there are many people who think God is only in the mandir. You know? And the proof of that is, I'm going to mandir, I have to bathe before I go. I can't eat this before I go to mandir. And then when they leave, they can eat whatever they want, and they can wear whatever they want, and they can speak however they want. Have you seen people like that? Why? Because God is only in the mandir or in the puja room at home. But God is saying, no, now you have to expand your vision. Last verse that we saw, he said, you know how you come and you do havan to worship me, to worship Bhagavan? Well, he says, in this havan, all the ghee that you offer, all the food that you offer, the fire that you offer into, everything about this havan is me. I am the fire, I am the food, I am the offering, I am the ghee. So, not that you have to wait to get me in some future place. I am right here with you now. See how I am everything. So this is what Bhagavan is trying to teach us in this section of Bhagavad Gita that we're in. So if you came to listen to stories, well, this is not stories like Bhagavatam. This is Bhagavad Gita. So now we will see where else Bhagavan helps us to see how he is everything in this universe. Okay? So we will chant. Now I need all of your help. So I want everybody to clap as we chant. And then when I chant, I want everybody to sing Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. You guys can do that? Easy or hard? Okay, and see, all the wonderful children, I want your voices to be louder than your moms and dads and aunties and uncles. You think you could do that? Don't hide your face and not sing, huh? Okay, so this is how it goes. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam You started nicely and then you went all quiet and then you come back at the end. Anyways, Bhagavan Shri Krishna is saying, see what he says. Pita ham asya jagatah. I am the father of this universe. You heard that idea before? God is the Father? Our Father who art in? Yeah. This is not some new idea. This is in our Shastras from thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, that Bhagavan is saying He's the Father of this whole universe. And our Sanatana Dharma far outdates Christianity. Right? He says, I am the Father of this whole universe. Then he says something so wonderful. He says, Mata. I am also the mother of the universe. Which other tradition have you heard where God is called mother? In every single other tradition that we know, God is a man. Correct or wrong? Well, we belong to a tradition where God is not just a man, God is also a woman. You will not find any tradition like this that does not have a gender bias like Sanatana Dharma. And what a wonderful day for this verse to come. Today is International Women's Day, correct? You will not find any tradition that glorifies women like Sanatana Dharma. We call Shruti Mother Shruti. Have you heard? Mother Shruti. The Shastras are called Mother. Then we call this, the cow that is called Go, that holy cow, Go Mata. Right? Then we call it Dharti Mata. We call the Earth Mother. Then then also, we're supposed to have an attitude. Mother is God. Father is God. Guru is God. Teacher is God. You know who comes first in that whole list? Not Father. Who comes first? Mother comes first. Matra Devo Bhava. That is the first thing that we're supposed to know. So now you tell me, where a tradition gives such reverence to women, there is absolutely no gender bias. We belong to such a wonderful tradition like this, right? Bhagavan is saying, I am the father of this universe, I am the mother of this universe. That means when you are with your parents, they are not your parents. You know who they are? They are Bhagavan. Because every father and every mother, Bhagavan is saying, that is me. We just don't see it. I mean, we see it sometimes. You know when your mom gets really, really vexed and angry? Then she turns into one of these devis. You know which one? Durgama. Have you seen? No? Anyways, Bhagavan is in our life as our mother and as our father. Then he says, I am Dhata. Dhata means he is the one who makes sure that if you do an action, you will get that result. Nobody could get that result for you. Like imagine if you sit and you study all day and all night and you study properly for a test. And then all the knowledge that you got, when you reach the test, your friend takes that knowledge and you don't have any in your head. What kind of world will that be? I put all the hard work in and somebody else gets my result? That's not fair. Then it's not fair the other way also, where they put in all the work and I just get the result. You want to live in such a world where anybody could get anything and makes no sense? That is not the world we want to live in. So Bhagavan is saying, I am the one who connects what you do to the result that you're going to get. And he is the one who makes sure that those two always go together. And he doesn't make mistakes, like us. He doesn't make mistakes at all. So now, that means, see what this means. It means every single thing in the universe is fair. And we're very interesting beings because when we think something is fair, we're much more ready to accept it. Correct or wrong? As soon as we realize that there's fairness in the equation, our complaint stops. Like, if you come and you see you got only one piece of cake, right? And the person next to you got 3 pieces of cake. You say, well, why? That's not fair. We say that line all the time, correct or wrong. That's not fair, that's not fair, that's not fair. Then you are told, no. This 3 pieces of cake is for them to take home to give to 3 people. Not even one is for them. And you're like, oh, okay. Means anytime you get an explanation for something, then you're okay. As long as it was fair, that they got 3 and I got 1 only. But if they actually had 3 pieces, it's because they would have done something to get those 3 pieces, you know? So Bhagavan says, I am the one who makes sure whatever you do, you're going to get the result for sure. Then he says, Pitamaha, I am the grandfather also. Means I am the cause of this whole universe. That is a different point. Then he says, I am Vedyam. I am that which ought to be known. You know how everyone keeps telling us, you have to know this, you have to know this. What? You have to know how to use a phone in today's day and age, and you have to know how to use computer. Now they're telling us you have to know how to use ChatGPT, and if you don't know how to use AI, then you're not going to be successful in this world, and all kinds of things they tell us. All of those things, any of those things they tell us to learn, is it guaranteed that it will make our life happy? Even the children are saying no. That which ought to be known is that which is guaranteed to make us happy. And Bhagavan is saying that is me, right? Then he says he is Pavitram. He is the purifier. There is a mantra that says, at the very beginning of puja, we say apavitro pavitro, apavitra pavitro va sarva vastangatopi va, right? Yasmaret pundarikaksham sabahya bhyantara shuchihi. The one who remembers Bhagavan, that person becomes pure outside and inside. That is the power of Bhagavan. Then he says he's Omkara. You all know what Om looks like, right? The Om. Do you know Om is the summary and the essence of all the Vedas? All the knowledge in this whole entire world is summarized in that little word Om. Then you take that Om and like you double click it and you double click it and you double click it and you keep double clicking it, and then you get the whole Veda. So Bhagavan is saying, I am that Om, the concentrate, and he says, I am all of the Vedas also. Right? That means, you know what it is like? It is like, do you get fruit juice in concentrate over here? Concentrated form? Where you take like this much and then you put this much water and then that whole thing becomes juice? Yeah? The Om is like the concentrate. And the Vedas are like the juice that we make for everybody from that concentrate. Bhagavan is saying, I am both of them. Whether you think of me as Om or you think of me as the Vedas, I am both. That means, you know, when we see the Vedas means our knowledge. That knowledge itself, or those books that we have the knowledge in itself, is Bhagavan. That is why you will see when somebody is reading Ramayana or Gita or something, they come and do arti for the book, isn't it? Because that book itself is Bhagavan. So here, Bhagavan has listed so many different things that we have love and reverence for. Right? Now he continues. Let us see what he says. Oh, let me tell you one thing. Have you seen a little child starting to learn colors? Like maybe a 2 or 3-year-old? They're barely like now starting to talk. And they're starting to learn, okay, this is yellow, this is blue, this is green, this is white. Then they catch their mom. They've just learned blue, right? Now, every 5 minutes, is this blue? Mommy will say yes. And they go, is this blue? Mommy will say yes. Is this blue? Mommy will say yes. Then my mommy will be thinking, but you know blue, stop asking me now if this is blue, if this is blue. But they have to ask and ask and ask until they really understand that this thing that I'm seeing, that is blue. So in the same way, now Bhagavan is trying to teach us like that. Look in the world and point to anything and ask, is that Bhagavan? And he'll say yes. Is that Bhagavan? Yes. Is that Bhagavan? Yes. Is that Bhagavan? Yes. Like that. Right? Anything you point to in this world and you ask, is that Bhagavan? The answer is yes. But do we see the world like that? When your friend is going to come walking down the road to you, are you going to say, oh, hi, Bhagavan? When you go home to your mommy, are you going to say, Hari Om, Bhagavan? When you get your food in front of you, are you going to say, oh, Bhagavan, you look so nice as my food today? You're going to, everyone laughing. Why are you laughing? You see, it's not so easy. So Bhagavan is taking time to point out, okay, let me tell you, I am this, I am this, I am this. And like that little child, we have to go on thinking, oh, Bhagavan is this, Bhagavan is this. So now let us see what else he has to say. Okay, let's chant. You remember what we have to chant? You remember to chant it loud? Okay. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Atir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi, Devasa Sharanam Suhita, Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Abhava Now Bhagavan says, I am the goal. You know, everyone has a destination that they're trying to reach in life. Bhagavan says, whatever your goal is, that is actually me. I am the goal. Like, you know, if you're running a relay race, and then there's a goal at the end, everyone has to reach this line. That line is Bhagavan. That is what we are running to. He says, I am the goal, I am the destination. Every time you see a goal, and you have a goal, you think in your mind, hi Bhagavan. You can say hi to Bhagavan, you know, if you want. You don't have to only say Sitaram, Ram Ram, Hari Om. When he's your friend, you can say hi also, but first he has to become your friend. Then he says, I'm the Bharta. I am the nourisher. You know what this is? When you go home, it doesn't matter how old you are, and your mother or your grandmother feeds you. That thing fills your heart, isn't it? They nourish you. Now imagine you go home, and you've just come back from a long day at school, and your mom is like, yeah, the food is in the fridge, go and take it and heat it up. That thing feels the same? No. The nourishment comes in the form of physical things. It comes with the emotions that it is offered. It comes in all forms like that, right? So Bhagavan is saying, I am the one who nourishes you. That means every time that your mother or your grandmother or even your father, I mean, why not father also? Anytime someone gives you anything that fills your heart, that time you think, hey Bhagavan, you have come in this form today, right? Bhagavan is the nourisher in our life that fills our heart. Then he's Prabhu. I'll tell you what Prabhu means. Prabhu means the one who can make anything possible. Have you seen, if you go to your paint box and you take brown color and you take a green color and you mix them together, what will you get? Some more weird brown color. Is it ever possible that you take a brown and you take a green and you make white? But Bhagavan makes it possible. You know how? He takes a brown cow and it eats what color grass? And it gives what color milk? So we cannot take brown and green and make white, but Bhagavan can do that. That means he can make anything possible. That word for Bhagavan, when you see him doing the impossible, it's called Prabhu. Say Prabhu? Prabhu. Anything is possible for him. That is why they say, don't come and tell your Bhagavan how big your problems are. You heard people come with the whole list, Bhagavan, my knees are paining, Bhagavan, this person is troubling me, Bhagavan, this neighbor, Bhagavan, this weather, Bhagavan, these mosquitoes, they don't let me sleep in peace. The whole list people bring to Bhagavan all the time, right? Well, when you remember Bhagavan is Prabhu, that thing has to switch. And instead of saying, Bhagavan, look how big my problems are, you have to watch your problems and say, hey problem, you know how big my Bhagavan is? Then you know Bhagavan is Prabhu, because he can make the impossible possible. Then he is the witness, Sakshi. Sakshi means there is nowhere that you can go where Bhagavan cannot see. That means there's two implications. You know, when we have classes for little children, one of the things that they do when they're very young is the teacher will give them a cookie. Everyone will get like an Oreo or a chocolate chip cookie or something, and you're allowed to eat it. But the challenge is you have to go and find somewhere where nobody can see you eating it. So some children will go and hide under the table, and some will go and hide behind the mandir, and they'll eat their cookie. And then invariably, at least one child will come back and say, I couldn't eat my cookie. You know why? Because wherever I go, who is watching? God is watching. Bhagavan is the witness, means there is nowhere we can go where he does not see us. That means, actually we should not be doing wrong things. Bhagavan can see us doing wrong things, isn't it? And the other thing is that there's nowhere we can go where we are not protected. Because if he's everywhere and he's seeing us all the time, if a mother is watching her child, can anything happen to that child? No! Because that mother is the witness, she will make sure that child is protected. In the exact same way, when we remember that Bhagavan is the witness, we remember that everything in our life will be taken care of. Along the same lines, he says, he is the Nivasa, he is the dwelling place, the one in whom everybody lives. You know the feeling that you have when you reach home after a really long day, or after maybe 2 or 3 days? You're tired, but there's also a feeling of, okay, now I'm home. You know the feeling I'm talking about? That I've reached home now. There's a comfort that comes when we come home. Bhagavan is saying, I am the home of this entire universe. So now you imagine that feeling of feeling so nice when you reach home. Imagine if you could feel that feeling every single moment of your life, no matter where you are. You go to school, you go to work, you go to the market, you go to anywhere in this world, and you feel that same feeling of, I'm home. Wouldn't that be so nice? Bhagavan is saying, I am the dwelling place of everything in this universe, including you. Then he says, I am the Sharanam, refuge. That means the person who is our Sharanam, it means when we're in that person's presence, we feel like we are free from all of our problems. Our problems don't exist when we're with that person. That is Sharanam, right? Like when Arjuna fell on the battlefield and he was crying like a chicken, I was telling you, right? Bhagavan was his Sharanam, because in Bhagavan's presence, it is not possible for him to remain like that. Bhagavan lifted him and made him feel ready to fight and feel better. So like that. Bhagavan is also our Suhrid. Suhrid means well-wisher. That means he always wants what is best for us. Some people don't believe this, What do you mean Bhagavan always wants what is best for us? I go to Bhagavan all the time and I ask him for things and he doesn't give it to me. How do you say he's giving me what is best for me? He never listens to me. Well, Bhagavan is not our wish fulfiller. He is our well-wisher. You know the difference? The difference is this. If you are sick and you want to eat ice cream, and your mother says, no. That mom's really mean, isn't she? What? You're not allowing me to eat ice cream, but you promised yesterday that I could eat it today? But hello, I didn't know you were going to get sick today. That ever happened? Yes, of course. Now when that mother says you're not allowed to eat it, is she being a wicked mother? She's being your well-wisher. It doesn't matter that you want it, and it doesn't matter how much you will cry. She wants the best, whatever is best for you, that should happen. That is called well-wisher. Bhagavan is our well-wisher, and so it is not about things that we want and things that we don't want. It's about what is best for us. Who likes vaccine in life? But sometimes you have to take it, isn't it? In the same way, there are things that will come into our life that we might not understand. But it is coming from Bhagavan because he is our well-wisher. Then he says, I am where beings come from, where they exist, and where they go to. Means we are always in Bhagavan, and there is never a time we are away from him. Then he is the Nivasa, he is the storehouse. Whatever power and values and happiness you can imagine, the storehouse of all wealth, all knowledge, Bhagavan is saying that is me. Right? Not only that, he says, I am Bijam Avyayam. I am the imperishable seed. Have you ever planted a seed before? Or watched a seed get planted? Well, what happens? What comes out of the seed? Some plant comes out. If you open the seed and you look inside, can you see it? Are you sure? Have you checked before? You never opened the seed to see, hey, are you there, plant? Little like baby-sized plant? Inside the seed, you cannot see it, but it is there. In the same way, Bhagavan is the seed for this whole universe that we see. That means that every single invention that will ever be had already exists in a seed form in Bhagavan, as Bhagavan. That means no one can actually invent anything. That means that they just caught something that already existed. This kind of thinking really brings humility to our mind. But anyways, Bhagavan says he is the seed for this whole universe. Right? Then he also says, Tapami Aham. I radiate heat in this whole universe. Did you know the sun is here and the earth is here, right? They're exactly a specific distance from each other. If the sun moves even like a tiny little bit this way, you know what will happen to us? Tiny little bit further away from us, you know what will happen? We will freeze and die, that kind of freeze. And if the sun moves a little bit closer to us on earth, you know what will happen? We will not unfreeze, we will roast. Yeah, so that sun has to be at the perfect distance from the earth where it's not too cold and it's not too hot, so that we human beings can exist. That perfect heat, Bhagavan is saying, that is me. Then, you know, if you think about the power of the sun, do you know it is only the power of the sun that everybody is eating? There's no other power of energy or source of energy that exists in this world. Really? When you eat a vegetable, where did that vegetable get the energy that it's giving you? From the sun. You can eat the sun? I'm going to go out there and my body is just going to absorb the sun's rays the way the plants absorb it. You know, let me put my feet in the soil, just like a plant, and let me catch some sunlight, and then I'll get full. That'll ever happen? The sun is the one because of which the plant grows. And then we go and we eat that plant. And we think that our energy is coming from the plant, but really, where is our energy coming from? From the sun. And Bhagavan says, I am that, all those rays of the sun is me. So who's feeding you? This is not a hard question. Bhagavan, guys! Then he says, I'll tell it in English only to keep it simple. He says, I am the one who keeps back and sends rain. I learned, that means he sends the perfect amount of rain. You all know what happens if it rains too much. I mean, some of you would have been here at the time of the flood. Correct? I learned about that flood and how the whole country had to shut down for like weeks. What happens when too much rain comes? Things cannot operate. And when there is not enough rain also, things cannot operate. Actually, the perfect amount of rain is what allows the world to continue. So now Bhagavan says, I'm the one who holds back and I'm the one who sends forward rain. So now you go and say, oh, I see. Bhagavan, you know, it is my turn to water the garden today. Please, can you just send rain so that I don't need to go and water it in the hot, hot sun? Someone could pray like that, isn't it? Then a next person sitting right next to them. Bhagavan, I just washed my car today. Please don't let it rain. Let my car be clean for at least one day. Now who should Bhagavan listen to? The one who wants their garden to be watered, or the one who doesn't want their car to get dirty? Both answers are wrong, guys. Bhagavan doesn't listen to prayers like that. Based on the karma of the people, he will send forth rain and he will withhold the rain also. You see? Now imagine if you had to do this yourself. It is the rays of the sun that goes and heats up the ocean and the river. And that thing evaporates and goes and becomes the clouds. Then the clouds are sent somewhere else. Then that water comes down as sweet water which we can drink. You try and go to the ocean and see how much energy it would take to collect some water, heat it so that it turns into sweet water, and then you try to drink it. Your whole life will go behind that. And Bhagavan does that for us so easily and effortlessly. Then he says, I am nectar and I am poison. He's everything in this universe. He says, I am also existence and non-existence. What? Bhagavan, you're non-existence? You don't exist? He's everything, no? So existence means, well, whatever is. He'll say, look, I will show you. Non-existence also exists. Non-existence exists? How? Well, if you're talking about it, does it not exist? Can you talk about something that doesn't exist? Can you talk about something that doesn't exist? If you're talking about it, that means it exists. That means even non-existence exists in some capacity as a concept. Bhagavan is saying, I am that also. I am everything that exists and I am everything that doesn't exist. See how wonderful Bhagavan is? So now you close your eyes and you try to imagine all the things he's told us, and you try to see, well, where exactly can I find this Bhagavan? So many places he's given us to look for him. And yet, when we look around, what are we going to see? I don't like that. I don't like this. Our vision is supposed to change when we study this section, so that we start to see that Bhagavan is not just here, but Bhagavan is everywhere. And not just everywhere, but every single thing, every single person, every single thought, everything exists, isn't it? And Bhagavan says he's existence. Right there you see, he's every single thing. Right? This exists? I have to ask myself, this exists? Yeah. That means this is Bhagavan. This exists? Yeah. Well, that means this is Bhagavan. So then does that mean I should rename everything in this world to Bhagavan? Can you bring me the Bhagavan, please? Can you put the Bhagavan on the table? We're not going to change our language like that. You're not going to go and call your mom, Bhagavan come, no. You're still going to call mom, mom, and you're still going to call dad, dad, and you're still going to call a flower, and you're still going to call a bookmark, and you're still going to call an iPad. I'm not going to start calling this Bhagavan. Can you imagine if someone says, I brought my Bhagavan to school today, you know, and then they take out an iPad. In our mind, we understand that this thing is divine. This thing has a place, it has a purpose, it has a reason for existence, and I interact with it knowing that it is important in this world. Do you know, in Trinidad, where we studied, there is they have a retreat center up in they call it mountains, it's like little mountains, right? And over there when you go, it's like Amazon jungle. So they have sandflies. You guys know sandflies? Sandflies are like tiny little creatures. You can barely see them. And then they come and they bite you. And when they bite you, you think, okay, they're better than mosquitoes, you know, because when they bite you, it doesn't itch. And then you wait a few minutes, or like the next day, and it starts to itch and itch and itch so bad. And that itching doesn't stop like a mosquito bite. It goes on for days. Man, these sandflies, I was saying, I wish they didn't exist. Then literally 2 hours later, we were driving back to the ashram and we passed a coffee trees and we were picking coffee. On that same property, there's coffee trees and Swamiji makes fresh coffee. So we were picking coffee over the berries, and one of the uncles over there, he was like, you know why the coffee grows so nice over here and it doesn't grow so nice in the ashram? It's because over here the sandflies are there to pollinate it. And I was like, what? Sandflies are needed for coffee? Now everybody who likes coffee, you like sandflies or not? Well, the point is, everything in this universe has a special place and a reason for which it is existing. So when I see anything in this world, I have to try and remember that. And that is me trying to see Bhagavan in all of those things in the world. Okay. Now, Bhagavan changes the tune, because he changes the topic. Right? And I don't know how, I'm not going to sing this one, I'm going to chant it. Let me chant, you all listen, and then I'll tell you what he's saying. Traividya mam somapa puta papaha yagnerištva svargatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divi deva bhogan te tam bhuktva svargalokam vishalam kshine punye martya lokam vishanti evam trayi dharma manuprapannaha gatagatam kama kama labhante. Bhagavan has finished giving some examples for now of where all we can see him in the world. And now he describes a person who is very religious, who goes and does yajna, havan, and goes and prays to Bhagavan. And he does it very well also. He follows all the rules and all the disciplines, and he does it perfectly. Right? Then, when Bhagavan is happy, he has a chance to tell why he is doing all of this. Now see what he says. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna explains that there are these people who come and very religiously they do yajna. They, the prasad from the yajna is what they eat, and they worship me like this. And what happens? They're purified of their papa. Means all the things that obstruct our progress to our goal are removed from the way. Then you ask them, well, why are you doing this? Punya masadya. They're collecting punya karma. They're collecting good deeds. And you know how when you have money, you can take it and you can go and buy things in this world? Well, when you have punya karma, you can get things in this world also. Punya karma is like money, I guess, in a way. You know what they want to do with all this punya karma that they collected from doing all their yajna? Svargatim prarthayante. They want to go to Svarga. Have you heard Svarga? The word Svarga before? Everyone here knows what is Svarga? Svarga is loosely translated as heaven, but it is actually not heaven, right? It's kind of like heaven, but you will see the difference just now. The thing that is special about Svarga is that whatever joy we have here, the joy is more than 100 times in Svarga. So you imagine the joy you get when you lick an ice cream. Everyone has licked an ice cream and gotten joy. 100 times that joy from one lick of ice cream in Svarga. Or the joy that you get, like a parent gets when they see their child for the first time. You know when that child comes out, they're holding that child? The joy that that parent has. People say you cannot find a joy greater than that joy. 100 times that joy in Svarga. The joy that someone gets if they go to Disneyland. 100 times that joy. The joy that you get from eating parsad after the satsang, especially if it's really yummy parsad, 100 times that joy. So people are like, well, I want 100 times, so I will do the work and I will ask Bhagavan to give me 100 times more happiness. So they do this yajna and they ask for Svarga and they go. And when they go and they reach this Svarga, they enjoy all the possible experiences that the Devatas experience. Right? Means they get a special body to enjoy also. Right? You know when you dream, you get a body appropriate to the dream? Well, they get a body that is appropriate to every single possible kind of enjoyment. And Svarga is like an all-inclusive vacation. Means you don't carry money. You don't even have to tip anybody over there. You just go and you enjoy, 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 enjoy. 100 times more every single enjoyment over here. Then, Tetam Bhuktva, having enjoyed Svarga Lokam Vishalam, in this massive Svarga Loka. You know when people want to enjoy here, what happens? They all get crowded in a place. Like, have you seen pictures of Disneyland? How everyone is squished together, waiting in line and all of that. Or if you go for Shivratri, you come to the mandir and there's a long line because everybody is waiting to see Bhagavan. so it feels like cramped sometimes. And Bhagavan is saying, well, in Svarga, there is so much space, you won't feel cramped when you're enjoying, right? Then every single possible thing you could imagine enjoying and more you will imagine, you will enjoy over there. Like over here in the world, some people, they get fed up and they're like, I've tried everything, I've traveled everywhere, I want a different kind of experience. Then they start to look to see if they could go to the moon because the world is not enough for them to enjoy, right? So Bhagavan is saying, well, in Svarga, endless. Now when you hear this, you want to go to Svarga? Well, yes, of course I want to go to Svarga. That sounds awesome. But Bhagavan is not talking about Svarga to make us want to go there. See what he says. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. When their good karma is finished, like when their money is finished, what happens at the end of a vacation? Well, you are forced to go back home. And to wash dishes after a vacation is much harder than washing dishes before a vacation, correct or wrong? Because you have just come back from enjoying. Now I have to wash dishes again? That's the feeling that is there in the mind, So Bhagavan is saying, they did all of this work and they went and they did yajna and they put in all this effort. And they reached Swarga and they enjoyed. But what happened? Finite actions give finite results. So their karma finished, the punya karma that they got finished, their bank account is empty, and they come right back here. Because no vacation can last forever. Right? Then, the other thing is, in Svarga, you cannot collect any punya karma. You can only spend it. So you have to come back here to earn more punya karma before you go back again. Right? Bhagavan says, this is what happens to people who want to enjoy. They're going and coming and going and coming and going and coming. That is how they spend their life. Now you imagine you got onto a roller coaster after a long wait. You know how they have long lines to get onto roller coasters? So now you got onto a roller coaster. And it went for like 3 minutes or whatever and it finished. Then you found out that they're allowing you to go on the same roller coaster a second time. That second time you'll be happy, right? I didn't have to wait in line and I got to go again. Then at the end of that loop, they send you again. Now you're thinking, well, I think, after this one it will be enough. Then they send you again. And they send you again. And you're like, no, I want to come off now. No. Send you again. And you're stuck on this roller coaster forever. That's a nice experience. But that is what has happened to us. We're stuck in this cycle. Go to Swarga, come back. Go look for happiness from somewhere, come back. Go there, come back. Go there, come back. Like that. Bhagavan is saying, well, why are you living life like this? Right? Fleeting results. So, that is what he's saying. Now you think, right? If somebody comes to the mandir and does yajna, havan, to pray to Bhagavan that they should go to Swarga so they can enjoy, right? Like an all-inclusive vacation. What is the difference between that person and the person who doesn't believe in God and he wants to go to work and make lots of money so he can take his family for vacation? What is the difference? There is a difference. You know what it is? That person thinks I'm so wonderful who comes and does yajna. But actually it is the exact same thing in the mind for both of them, is it not? One is just looking for a vacation here and one is looking for a vacation hereafter. That is all. So Bhagavan is saying, look, this thing doesn't make sense. It is like you will be stuck on a roller coaster forever. And he says there is a better option. You know what the better option is? He tells us in the next verse. Let us chant. We'll chant Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama again. Ready? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Ananya-chintayanto mam, ye jana paryupasate, Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Isham Nityabhiyuktamana, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Shri Krishna This verse is extremely special. Our Guruji Swami Tejamayananda says, if you remove this verse from Bhagavad Gita, it removes the Gita-ness of Bhagavad Gita. That is how special this verse is. It is also, so it is considered one of the verses that is the heart of the Bhagavad Gita. It also happens to be the exact center of the Bhagavad Gita. And look, today is the exact center of the 108 nights. So we're exactly in the middle of this yajna, and we're exactly in the middle of Bhagavad Gita with this verse. Isn't that so cool? I think it's so cool that it worked out like that. Anyways, Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Now he talks about people who think about him all the time, who meditate on him all the time. That means in whatever puja they're doing, whatever duty they're doing, anything in this world that a person is doing, they're only thinking about Bhagavan. Means they see him in everything and in everybody all around, right? Constantly thinking about him with a sense of no otherness. Means they think Bhagavan is the greatest thing in this universe. They feel the presence of divinity in their life. He says that for such people who are ever steadfast in his devotion, who means they feel Bhagavan is everywhere, he says, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. I carry their yoga and their kshema. Now let me tell you what this is and why it is so special. In this context, yoga is anything that we do not have that we want, that we are yet to acquire. And kshema is whatever we have that we are protecting. So you think about every single thing that you want in life, right? It is either to get something that you don't have, or it is to protect something that you already have. For example, someone says, I want a job. That is something that I don't have that I want to acquire. Someone says, I want to keep my job. You know, people are worried about that too. I want to keep my job. That is protection of something that I already have. Then some people say, I want to get a house. That is yoga, getting something that I don't have. Other people say, I need to take care of this house. You know, when a person has a house, well, from the day you own a house, Every single day it feels like you have to do some work on the house. Something is breaking, something is coming out, something has to fix, right? Protection of the house also has to take place. So Bhagavan is saying that I will make sure you get what you need to get, and I will make sure that what you have already is protected. Means the worry of getting things and the worry of protecting things, Bhagavan will take. That is like, you make a pact with Bhagavan. You say, Bhagavan, come, let's make a deal. I will do the work and you will do the worrying. Bhagavan, I will work and you will worry. That means I cannot worry anymore, because Bhagavan is going to take care of me. Now see something. Bhagavan is saying this as a promise. If someone has this kind of devotion for him, he will take care of what they have and he will give them what they don't have. But how many of us have the courage to say, okay, let me see Bhagavan do this for me. I believe him. How many people believe Bhagavan? We might say it, but it doesn't show in our actions, right? Now the other thing in this is, it is not only what we want, it is also, if Bhagavan doesn't think we need something, he will not give it to us. That is called yoga. And if we have something we want to keep but we don't need it, he will take it from us, and that is called kshema. So let me tell you a story. You want a long story or a short story? Okay, let's see. One day, Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Arjuna, they were best friends. So they were walking in the village one day. And as they were walking, they heard someone in a big fancy house praying to Bhagavan. Oh Bhagavan, please let me win the lottery so that instead of one house I can have 5 houses, and I can get an extra car, and I can take my children on vacation. Right? This person is praying like this. And as they're passing, Bhagavan says, Tathastu. You know what Tathastu means? Tathastu means so be it. So Bhagavan said, okay, take it. So he gave him what he wanted. Then they continued to walk, and they saw another devotee praying. This time he was in a little thatched hut. It had a hole and water would fall when it would rain, and he had a cow tied to a tree outside. One little cow. And he was praying, Bhagavan, please take care of me. Bhagavan, I want you, Bhagavan. Bhagavan, you make sure everything is okay in my life, Bhagavan said, may your house burn down and may your cow die. And Arjuna looked at Bhagavan and he said, Bhagavan, what is wrong with you? That man who has everything already, and he prayed to you for more, you gave him more. And this man who has nothing, you took away whatever he has also? And he was so nice, he was praying to you so nicely. What is wrong with you? Are you okay? I mean, friends can talk to each other like that, right? Yeah, Bhagavan, are you okay? Like, what is going on in your mind? Correct question or not? Bhagavan said, look, that first devotee who was praying, he wanted prosperity. So I gave him that prosperity. The second devotee who was praying, he wanted me. And the only thing that was standing between him and me was his attachment to his house and his attachment to his cow. And the moment that is gone, he will reach me. So now, Bhagavan did a fair thing or an unfair thing? He gave him himself. But from the outside, you couldn't tell that he was giving him himself. In the exact same way, things happen in our life that we may not understand. In Ramayana, there's a big story about how Naraji, he gets deluded. You know Naraji? he one day sat in meditation, and his meditation was so good that he didn't get distracted, he didn't get angry, he didn't get any kind of negative emotions when they came to try to distract him. So he felt, oh, I am so good, I'm better than Lord Shiva, because Lord Shiva got angry when Kamadev came and disturbed his meditation and he burnt him. Man, I am better than even Lord Shiva. This is what Naraji thought. He developed some serious pride, right? And he went to boast about his pride also. Well, Bhagavan Vishnu loves Naraji, so he decided to teach him a lesson. When Naraji was going back from where he came, he passed an island that was so beautiful. And on this island, he saw that a Swayamvar was going on. Means they were doing an event was there where they were looking for a groom for the princess of that island. So Naraji went and he saw this princess. And Naraji is a brahmachari, he doesn't get married. But he saw this princess and he said, wow, she's so beautiful. And so he went to the palace, and the king and the queen, they said, oh Naraji, please come and read her hand, tell us what kind of groom she will get. And the whole time Naraji's thinking, man, if only I could marry this princess, she's so beautiful. And he knows she's not going to marry him the way he is. So he goes to Bhagavan Vishnu and he says, Bhagavan, you please give me a face like yours. Make me beautiful like you. So Bhagavan smiled. Now Bhagavan should give him a beautiful face so that the princess will marry him. Is that good for Naraji? Bhagavan smiled at Narad. Naraji said, I want Hari's face. I want your face. He said, okay. So now Naraji goes. And Naraji gets in line. During a Swayamvar, the princess, she comes and she walks, and all the kings and princes who want a chance, they're standing there in line. So one by one, she's going and looking, and then sometimes they had a mala in their hand like this, and when they see the one that they like, then they put the mala on them. So she's going down the line like that, looking, and Naraji is thinking, she's going to choose me for sure, So he goes and he stands in line and he pokes out his head, and then the princess passes him and he thinks, what is wrong? So he moves in the line and he goes forward and he pushes his head further out this time, right? And when she sees him, she moves back a little bit and then she continues. So Naraji is thinking, well, what is wrong? Then she goes and she puts a mala on somebody that she finally chose. And in the back, Bhagavan Shiva's ganas were there. And they were laughing at him like anything. And they said, go and look at yourself. You were to marry the princess. He went outside in a pond over there. He saw his face. It did not look like beautiful Lord Vishnu. You know what it looked like? A monkey! So he's pushing his monkey head out for the princess to say, wow, I want to marry you. Well, let me tell you, long story short. This princess wasn't real. This island wasn't real. Bhagavan made this whole thing up, and he came and he took the princess also to teach Naraji a lesson. That was yoga for Naraji. He loved him so much, he gave him what he needed. He needed a reality check. In our life also, when we have faith that everything is going to be taken care of, does Bhagavan not take care of the birds and the animals and the plants and everything? So why will he not take care of me? When a baby is in the mummy's belly, you think the mummy is the one who feeds the baby? Oh, here, let me eat this and let me go and feed it in my belly. Bhagavan is the one who takes care of the baby in the belly. Why will he not take care of us when we come out? That is the feeling we're supposed to have when we think about this. So, however it is that you think about Bhagavan, you just remember, when I really feel his presence in my life, and when I understand that Bhagavan is going to give me happiness, not the world, then Bhagavan assures us I will take care of what you need and I will protect what you have. And you don't need to worry about anything. You imagine what a worry-free life would be? How much time you will get back in life? Because we spend like more than 50% of our waking time worrying. This is Bhagavan's promise. And unlike us, his promises are unbreakable. This is a most beautiful verse in this Bhagavad Gita. And it is supposed to inspire us to think, Bhagavan, may I have more love for you? In whatever way you imagine Bhagavan. So that you are the only goal in my life, and I know there is nothing that I need to worry about. This is the bhakti that is talked about in Bhagavad Gita. Now I will pause here because my time is finished. And I will share a couple of announcements and then we will continue. I'm sorry Swamiji couldn't be here. I know I was looking forward to him being here also, but he had to be at the ashram in Monripo tonight. So he will be back to the quarantine area tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be in Rose Hall. Rose Hall is far from here? No. If y'all are able to, please do come. Satsang is at 7 p.m. tomorrow. The poster originally said 5. It is at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So if you're able to and if you're interested, please come. Swamiji is really wonderful. You will love it. And he will continue from right here. He'll pick up from verse number 23. And so many more wonderful things to be said about Bhakti in this chapter. So tomorrow we will be in Rose Hall at 7 p.m. Thank you so much to Pandit Ian and to everybody who organized this evening's satsang. It was really wonderful to see so many young children also in satsang, and they sat so nicely and listened. That is a remarkable thing. I mean, having children in a satsang is one thing, but them listening is a different thing altogether. So it's a really wonderful thing to see. Thank you all so very much for having me. We have a bookmark to commemorate this 108 nights. Please do get one on your way out. Doc, who is with me, he will give it to everybody, right? So please make sure you take one and then you put it in a book. And then some years later when you open that book, I hope books still exist in some years. And you say, oh yeah, I remember I went there and she was talking about something from Bhagavad Gita. All right. Say that again? Oh yeah, we should put this on Facebook. Then everybody, Facebook also might not exist in some years. You know how things come and go like that? But yeah, then the only book people use nowadays is Facebook. That is true. All right. If you're not able to attend tomorrow but you would like to listen to Swamiji Satsang, this is being streamed live every night. So you can catch it on the Chinmay Mission Guyana Facebook. And then the recorded videos are also being uploaded on our YouTube channel. On May 3rd, which is a Saturday, at 5 p.m., we will be celebrating the grand finale of this 108-night Bhagavad Gita Yajna. And we would like to invite all of you to come. It is going to be at the Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground in Georgetown. And we hope it will be it's a momentous occasion because it's such a special thing that is happening. So please see how you all can come. You can get a bus or some transportation and come down together. And it'll be really nice to see all of you over there. Or at least some of you. Right? And it's in the evening at 5, so before it gets too late, you can reach back home also. Okay? All right. That's it for now. Let us stand for Bhagavad Gita Arti. The Bhagavad Gita Arti is the same tune as Om Jai Jagadish. So you could play that for me. Same tune, but I'll sing the Arti. See if you can listen to the words and follow along. Whatever you hear, you try to repeat, okay? Okay. Jai Bhagavad Gita Maya Jai Bhagavad Gita Hari Kamala Vihari Hari Kamala Vihari Sundara Suri Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Dharma Sudharma Prakashi Kama Sati Hara Maya Kama Sati Hara Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadvajah Mangalam Pundarikaksham Mangalayatanu Harihi Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam
Mama Deva Deva
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की, हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये, हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम तत्।